So yeah, yesterday, Lily and I decided to do our podcast today. And so if you're watching live, it'll be at 10:30 Pacific time, but it'll also be on everywhere that podcasts are, Spotify and YouTube, and it's going to stream on my Facebook to start with. I'll stick the Facebook link in there and in the chat. So what happened was Ilya sent me this message, and can you say it again, Ilya? What's the title?
So it's basically rewiring your mind for success, the science and spirituality of peak performance.
There it is. And so, and it's really interesting how stuff shows up when we play in this field of whatever this is, infinite possibilities, the matrix, the Tao, the Holy Spirit, whatever this is. So there's a guy, and I won't give a lot of personal details because he's famous, but and plus it's private stuff. We went for a walk yesterday, and for some reason I had reached back out to him. I'd known him for a while, and he had given me his phone number, and I lost it. And then I asked our mutual friend, and she gave me his phone number, and then I contacted him. And then it took a while for us to connect, and we're like, oh, let's meet at my office, and we'll go for a walk or get lunch or something. And so we went for a walk, and he said, "What made you want to reach out to me now? Because it's really the most amazing time." He says he wouldn't have been able to hear this, or it wouldn't have been a thing for him before just now. And so he gave me some stuff of what's going on, and I said, I don't know, it's just how it was. And then we had a very, very good talk and connection, and I'm going to be able to help his son with something that really drives his son, something his son is like dedicated his whole life to. And I was talking to him about his life, because he is famous, worldwide famous. And I said, when you created that first thing, and I will be kind of like not just saying exactly what it is, so that, but I said, how was that? What happened? And he said, it just poured through him. He said, I didn't even create it. It just like happened. And I said, well, was it like hard to get it out to the world? He goes, no, it just like, boom, it happened. And then he went into kind of a crisis mode of sorts, because he didn't know what to do. And, when you have all your dreams come true in an instant, and make all sorts of money, and everybody thinks you're the best thing in the world. And he said he didn't feel like he was, he said he felt like a fraud traveling around the world, talking about this thing. And yet he wasn't, but he became a hermit, he said, for a while. And so he's been my friend for a couple of years, but we've just been like back and forth when we see each other in the group that we're in. And but then for some reason I reached out to him, and he said, what made you want to reach out? And I'm like, I don't know. And then he told me what had happened this last week. And it's like, oh my goodness, well, no wonder I reached out. So as I was doing the session this morning, I do my meditation in the morning, and it's everything I do with us here in the group. And it's got a certain structure to it, but it also can be kind of free form, but it does have that structure that we use to access this infinite space, and to get what you want in life, basically, and not basically, for real. And as I was doing it, I thought, wow, that's what I see for the group. And then I thought back to when I started my Miracles, Magic, Healing, and More, and that's the once a month group. So this is the daily group, Atomic Success Secrets, but that's the once a month group. And in 2014, I was like in Maple Falls, out by the mountain, and didn't know how to make money. And we'd left San Diego, and you guys know that the whole story of stuff. And I was like I was talking to lots of people. I had a coach that was showing me how to like get my energetic healing out to the world, and it was starting to work. But I was like, what do I, this might have been even before I got my first coach, but I had this thought, this inspiration, and it said, wow, they really, what do people need? I said, well, they need healing. And it really helps if they can come see me in person, or at least over the airwaves, but for regular one-on-one sessions, and be there and do stuff and get things done. And I thought, well, what the problem though is for some reason I was running into a lot of people that either didn't have money or didn't want to spend their money, and or didn't believe it would work or whatever. All these people were telling me money was the problem. I thought, well, what do they need healing? What do I do? And I thought, well, let me do a once a month thing. And I sent an email out to my small email list, and I think I got like 14 people that said, yeah, I'll do it. And every month I would send another one out, and I would get another 10 to 15 people. It's usually the same people, a few extra people. And then I automated it and made it a thing. And when I did that with that ClickFunnels web page, over the weekend, I had like, I think 11, I can't quite remember the numbers, 11 or 14. Those are the numbers that keep popping in my head of people that signed up right away. And it was like, oh my goodness, this is a thing. And every month people have shown up. So it's like, you know, there could have been months with nobody showing up, but every month people show up. And it's still part of my dream of like, how can we do this healing in a big, big way with people? So I did that as a thing today. And my intention is that we can have a healing and help you get what you want. And so, because it's like, people talk about manifesting, and one of the people I work with is a very well-known person that makes a lot of money, and she hates the word manifesting. She says that's just a terrible word. And so I don't know about that, but you know, people talk about it. It's in all these self-help books like The Secret, the Law of Attraction, all these things that promise like the world and deliver a little bit of a result. You know, like my wife says, you get all these coaches and they promise the world and life gets a little better. And I'm like, yeah. And then, and yet there's some people that's like, you do interact with them one time and the whole world changes. And so, so that's always been my interest. Like, how to get people to heal and to get what they want. And so, what I'm going to do right now is, let's just do the thing that, that I've seen have miracles, and then we'll go, we'll turn off this part of the recording, and then we'll do our one-on-one sessions, and let's see what happens. Because literally the guy I talked to yesterday, it's like he wasn't thinking of doing something. He doesn't even consider himself what he became. He still doesn't think of himself as what he became and what he is, like the title that he has. And yet he just started to do this thing. And then he said it took him all of like, I forgot if it was 4 hours or just under an hour to create this thing that became a worldwide sensation and made him a ton of money and continues to make him a ton of money. And it just like poured through him. And then it took him 10 years to create the next thing. And then that's it. That's all he's created. And yet he kind of cruises around. He even like, can I just say this? Yeah, he even drives a Uber sometimes just so that he can meet people. Isn't that funny? So so here goes, for you, everything you want. Okay, so let's test it. This will be an extra recording in the portal, the Atomic Success Secrets portal. And even one time, let's just, even if you never watch it again, test it and let me know if anything changes and what changes. And then we'll do our one-on-one sessions. So here goes.